$10mm.
His shots ring from the woods. Take our 45.
Yeah, definitely 10mm. Nice. Yes, Hickok 45, your internet shooting companion, coming to you with a 10mm M&P from the beautiful hills of Tennessee. Beautiful green hills, looking even a little greener than last week perhaps. Kind of happens every spring. I've noticed that for quite a few springs. Yes, whether I'm shooting a 10mm or not in the spring environment. So glad you made it. Oh yeah, and it's the home of, I had some more musicians. Charlie Daniels, Minnie Pearl, who else was I going to mention? Dolly Parton. Yes, so lots of musicians in Tennessee, either born here, moved here, lived here at various times, because if you didn't know, Nashville, well, it still is probably. It was a recording center of the world for country music. And it's a lot of other recording done here too, of course, a lot. And a lot of things like well, not movies as much. There have been some movies made here, but what am I trying to say? Well, music videos, put it that way, and things like that. There's just a lot of creative people, you know, in the music industry, the movie industry, and that sort of thing around Nashville. So glad you're here, and it's a pretty nice day, a little breezy, but you know, it's kind of unusual really for a day or two here, and it's actually fairly warm. It's not nice, not bad at all, cannot complain. And I'm just so glad you're here to see everything. Wow, it is nicer when the leaves are out. It just looks I don't know, it's well, a lot more privacy for one thing. And just, I don't know, nature is a little better dressed, you know, when the foliage is out. And then of course it reaches its peak when? In the fall. Oh man, it gets so beautiful in the eastern United States, right? Yeah, most of the southeast too, but not, you go too far south, you don't get a lot of beautiful oak leaves. You know, you get down into Florida, of course. But yeah, beautiful in this part of the country, and of course north of here. And that's what you miss if you live in Tucson. As much as I like that area, I like Arizona, but it's just different, isn't it? Different environment. So anyway, it's May 1st, and it's a new world, it's a new month, it's a new climate, you know, for one thing, and just glad you made it. You notice I have a M&P 10mm I've been trying to get my hands on for a while, and I finally just found one and bought it. I bought it. This is mine, and so far I like it. I've just shot 3 or 4 mags through it, but I like it a lot. The grip is a little thin. You know, it's funny, it's something about Smith, the most popular, one of the most popular firearms on the planet is the Shield, which I like, except the grip is a little too thin for me. This one's a little too thin. I need to wrap it up. I'm going to do that. I just haven't done it yet. Nice friction on it, you know, right out of the box though. If my hands weren't so large, I'd be fine probably with that. But I'm going to wrap it up and get a little more, just a tad more thickness on that thing, and it's going to feel even better. And again, that's what you don't get with the Glock. I love the Glock 20, 29 as well, but you know, you get that hump, you know, that I don't like on the Glock. Some people love it, but I always complain about it. I must not be too unusual in that regard, because so many other pistols don't just randomly, it is empty, put a hump down here at the bottom. They think that, oh, it needs a mainspring housing like a 1911 used to have, well, still has, you know, depending. And but look at all your newer pistols. They don't have that. And one of the first things people do if they buy a 19, well, excuse me, can't answer that. If they buy a 1911, if they buy a 1911, one of the first things people do is put in a flat mainspring housing. That's what I do. I love that's the one thing about the feel of a 1911 I don't like, is that that raised mainspring housing. I don't like it. And it's one reason I like that's the 1911A1. The 1911, the actual 1911, you know, up until about 1924, had a flat mainspring housing and a long trigger. Those feel great, you know. And that's generally what a lot of competitors and people that are kind of 1911 aficionados, they do when they buy a new one, an A1, whatever. If it doesn't have a flat mainspring housing, they replace the raised mainspring housing, put a flat mainspring housing on it, and get a longer trigger usually. Of course, I think a lot of 1911s now come with a longer, you know, trigger, and you know, so the original 1911s feel the best to me. The only problem with them is I get hammer bite, as do a lot of people. If it weren't for the hammer bite, that would be it. My carry gun would be a 1918, 1911. It could be anyway. You know, hammer bite is not going to matter much. If you have to defend yourself, you're not going to worry about a little pinch right on your thumb or on your the web of your hand. So anyway, how to get off on all that? I don't recall if I've tried 38 Special in this firearm. Here's what it is. It's a Marlin. Yes, cowboy lever gun, JM model. You've seen it before if you've seen our videos. Got at least one video on it. And I haven't fired this thing in forever. So I've got some 357s in the magazine, and I thought, you know, I don't remember how it feeds 38 Special. For new folks, 38 Special case, the round is a little shorter. Otherwise, it's the same, you know, dimensions. And it says on the barrel, 357 Magnum, 38 Special. But with lever guns, sometimes maybe they'll fire 357 usually just fine. Same with a 44 Magnum lever gun. They'll fire 44 mag just fine. But sometimes when you put a shorter cartridge in there, 44 Special, or in this one a 38 Special, a little shorter, they don't feed as well. So you have to try them out, and it just comes with it. You know, if you have one that just doesn't like 38 Special, so be it. You shoot 357 in it. Yeah. I mean, there's a reason it doesn't like it. It's a shorter cartridge. You know, firearms, newsflash, they're chambered for a specific round for a reason, and everything is designed around that cartridge. Yeah, whether it's a bolt gun or lever gun, whatever it might be. So we might be asking a little too much if we expect this lever gun to feed just anything. You know, something that is supposed to do everything sometimes is not good at anything. You know what I mean? So so I'd rather it be really reliable and work really well with that one cartridge than to, you know, somehow they've got it designed so, yeah, it'll sort of handle either one, yeah, but you might have some hang-ups with both of them. Yeah, I don't want that. I don't want that. So we'll experiment a little bit with that. Also appreciate, anyway, we appreciate everybody that helps us. Talon Grips, Battle Saw, and we're lucky. And I'm lucky. I'm lucky to be on this side of the grass, and you're lucky to be on this side of the grass, right? I hope you realize that. Yeah, I in fact went to a funeral home to see a person I used to teach with back in the 70s. He's older than I was, but yeah, I mean, you know, no matter what you've done, how great a life you've lived, and boy, this guy had quite a life. He was a World War II vet. He was in on the what do we call it? not saving, but opening up a Dachau, the prison camp, you know, and everything. And I've just had incredible stories to tell. And I was fortunate enough to teach with him for 2 or 3 years, my first 2 or 3 years teaching. And he was a state champion football coach. He was a great teacher. He was just a great fellow here in Middle Tennessee. A lot of people knew him and loved him. Just a great guy. He was really a great mentor, and didn't realize it, you know, but he just was, you know, because I was around him for a year or two, quite a bit, just the way our schedules fell. And it was great for me to see how he operated for a year or two, how he related to students and that sort of thing. It was great. Anyway, we're all lucky to be here. And what else? Oh God, oh yeah, Mr. Musk buys Twitter. Pretty interesting, huh? Kind of figured that might not happen. There'd be too many forces trying to prevent that. And but it came off. So are you happy about that? Let me take a couple more shots with this 10mm M&P. Again, this is mine. All right, let me get that turkey. Oh man, just missed him barely. Yeah, I kind of like that. It's a little bit of a gritty trigger, but it's got a nice break. But it'll get less gritty as I shoot it, I'm sure. Well, I'm not sure, but I think it might. It's not bad. So yeah, pretty interesting. And it's also interesting your reaction, as I've heard several folks say. It is such a great indicator of who the totalitarian wannabes are, the tyrants are. If they're really upset about, it depends on why they're upset, but there are so many people we are realizing that make no bones about being afraid of freedom of speech. Yeah, who knew? I guess we all should have known. You know, they're afraid of the Second Amendment. We know, I've known that my whole life. There's a whole horde of people that are afraid of the Second Amendment, don't trust people. And I guess it's all those same people for the most part. They're afraid of the First Amendment. They don't trust people to be able to say what's on their mind, speak their side, you know. And they are, I say they're becoming revealed, but they've pretty much been revealed the last couple of years, haven't they, or for longer than that. But they don't try to hide. That's what's crazy about the world today. It's what they think. They're against the First Amendment and Second and everything else that makes sense. At least they're out there. They're not hiding. It's just amazing to me, though. Just amazing. So I don't know. You may have seen a few of you. I don't know how many of you are on Twitter. I had, there's Hickok 45. We're on there. I was noticing today. My gosh, since 2008, that's when I set that up. That was when we first started doing this, like really singing, like 2007, 8. And as you would do, if you're doing something that's going to be on social media, you might set up on different platforms, at least create an account. And I was linking everything mainly that we posted on, I think, Facebook, which would appear on Twitter also. I did that for years, but I never did really go to Twitter, hardly ever. In fact, I forgot I even log in and just everything. But you know, for years, posting a link on Facebook or whatever would be over there on Twitter as well. And that quit happening. I think when Facebook started Instagram or bought them or whatever. They didn't want to support Twitter. I don't know. Who knows? You know, my gosh, high tech and these platforms that change things, and I don't keep up with it. Don't even try a lot of ways. I just noticed it doesn't post over there now, and I was looking at that recently. Well, mainly because I went back into Twitter and I figured out my password. You know, once all this started up, the discussion with Elon Musk, and so well, let me get back in here and make sure I can get in and everything, and remembered my password, got in, and made a couple of postings, even linked a video there, I think today, whatever, just, but I just kind of getting used to it again, although I never did really learn it. I don't know if I have messages there. I don't know. Like I say, I don't even go there. Same on Instagram. I've never checked a message on Instagram. I'm not even sure how, really. Just too many places, too many places. I skim through them on Facebook, Hickok45, and then skim comments, you know, on YouTube. I can't search the whole world, you know. But anyway, I trying to get it figured out how Twitter works, and whether it's something we'll start using a little bit. I don't know if this comes off the way it apparently where it seems to be coming off, and if it does dramatically improve, maybe it deserves our support. You know, maybe Twitter's not an obscene word anymore. A lot of people just quit using it, you know, because of the bias and everything. And it is a cesspool, basically, as a lot of things on public social media, you know, are. But perhaps it has perhaps it's saved. I don't know. There's always going to be the cesspool element to anything social media. You can't prevent that. But if there's a platform that is you know, allows both sides or all sides of any issue to be discussed, postings and things, yeah, that deserves some support. You know, even if you're a social media hater and a Twitter hater and have been a Twitter hater. So I don't know. I don't want to speak too soon. May end up worse than it's been. But sorry, I had a call. Someone had called back, so I make sure everything's okay. And anyway, I'm back. Yeah. So yeah, with Twitter. I don't know what I was saying, but it's going to be a cesspool, right? Like I said, to some extent, because everybody has a voice now. That's a good thing about the new world. It's also the bad thing about the new world, right? As I said before, think about your craziest uncle or cousin. I'm the crazy uncle in my family, but you're the most obnoxious person in your family. Think about who that is, or the most obnoxious person you know personally that you maybe have met, or is in your neighborhood, or in your dorm, just where you work. The most absolutely obnoxious person just says the most offensive things, is a total idiot. Yeah. Well, if you know somebody like that, or a couple somebodies like that in your circle of acquaintances or work or whatever, and college campus or whatever, well, multiply that by a few 100,000. They're on the internet. So what do you expect? They've got a computer, a phone, just like you and I do. Like I say they, like it's not us or you or me, right? Maybe we're the weirdos, the obnoxious people on the internet. But so they're going to be there, you know, people with like no self-esteem, or they've had horrible childhood. They've got holes they're trying to fill up, and whatever. They're trying to control you and me and all that kind of that. They're just going to be there. But at least if we can have a platform, the public square, where there is actually an exchange of ideas. We can ignore the trolls and the total idiots, but there's a place where we'll think about some of the things that were shut down, shadow banned over the last 2 or 3 years, like legitimate, intelligent discussions about the bug that went around. Doctors early on who were posting videos and talking about the possibilities and things, and they just disappeared. Unless you were watching Tucker Carlson or something, you wouldn't even know about it. You wouldn't even see it. And then you still can't find them online, just things that turned out to be true, more or less, And so that's the kind of thing we want to put an end to, right? And so I'm kind of encouraged. I'm the last person to support Twitter, I guess I would have thought, because I never used it, and I hear all the horror stories about it, and just don't want to get involved in that. I'm involved in social media enough, have to be, to some extent. But I don't know, I'm encouraged, because I think if it does become a place where free exchange of ideas can take place, it's going to put so much pressure on all the other platforms. You know, I mean, if that's where everybody goes when they want to, you know, be able to express themselves honestly, if that's the only place, well, boy, their numbers will grow, and the numbers at the other platforms will decrease, right? And it may even affect YouTube, you know, video platform. Who knows what Elon Musk will do and what he'll make out of Twitter. I started saying maybe he'll do some innovative things. What you think, right? With Elon Musk, so who knows where it would be in 4 or 5 years. So it's great to have pressure on somebody in that big tech world that is not a totalitarian. You know, that's great. So again, as I've said many times, society and everything is far from perfect, and it's messy. People are messy. People are they're not even close to being perfect, right? And people are a mess. We're all a mess in a lot of ways. And so any kind of discussion, anything, there's going to be some messiness there, right? So as I've said many times, I will take the mess. There's going to be a mess no matter what the situation is. So I'll take the mess you get with freedom, with more freedom. Okay? I'll take the negatives of that over the negatives of more controlled totalitarianism. Okay? So anyway, there you go. I'm not calling for anarchy, but I'll take that. Now, like you, I mean, most of it is common sense. We don't really I wouldn't expect Twitter or any other platform to allow people, which they won't or wouldn't, to come on and threaten people, you know, with bodily harm and I mean, these things you can't tolerate in society. There are certain things, you know, we could name, you know, a handful of things that just would not be allowed, right, on there. You can't, you know, there's just things you cannot allow, whatever the platform is. Or it's got a place where nobody will want to go, right? But in terms of, you know, just like blocking out certain philosophies and ideologies, it's crazy, you know. So even if they are crazy people, there's some real crazy people, right, expressing themselves, let them express it. I'll decide what I think is crazy, right? You decide what you think is crazy. So anyway, hopefully that's all good news. And I'm not sure how to use it, Twitter. It is kind of nice to go somewhere. It's not as easy to do that on YouTube or like Instagram, places where, I don't know, just to post a comment, a short comment. You know, Twitter really does excel at that, no doubt about it. Plus you can link and post things. I've noticed. I've not used it much, but I don't guess you can make videos and post them there, or can you? I guess you just link them there. I don't know. But anyway, if you got any ideas how to use Twitter, you know, and a lot of people are gagging right now. Oh, never use Twitter. Maybe not. Maybe I won't. I don't know. But I tell you, it is something to think about now, I think. What else? Yeah, I mentioned last week it's nice that we're all getting our faces back. But let me shoot before I do that. Can I shoot this rifle? Again, this is a JM Marlin 357 Magnum. Let's get us a cowboy with this lever gun. And a 2-liter. How about a gong? It went low, probably. Yep. How about a turkey? There we go, to bring it up a little. Sweet, sweet. Oh, there's an empty paint can right here. Woo! Let's get that hog. Let's don't say we did. So most of us, whether you have one or not, I think most of us like a good lever gun. You know, I hear from a lot of you. This is a Marlin. It's like new. I was lucky to find this one. JM model 357 Magnum. You know, I've got this same gun in 45 Colt. It's Cowboy Limited. I actually got a 44 Magnum. but it's a shorter, I think it's a 20-inch barrel. And I think it was made after Marlin was going downhill a little bit. Not maybe by Remington, but I think they all knew they were going to be losing their jobs. What years, I forget the years that was, but I don't know, it's not as nice as this one or my 45 Colt. I would like to find one, an older one like this, the Cowboy Limited in 44 Magnum. Yeah, that would be tempting for me. Find an old one that's put together well, old JN model, and in 44 Mag, just like this. I don't know when Ruger's going to have one, you know, like this, a Cowboy version, Cowboy Limited as it's called, or if they will ever make them. I guess they will eventually, in 44 Mag with a 24-inch barrel. That would be cool. But I'd be tempted on one of those. I tell you, part of the reason is I shoot so much 44 Magnum. I load a lot of 44 Magnum. It's a great round, and you know, it'll handle hot rounds. And I like 44 Mag, but I don't enjoy shooting a lot of really hot rounds. Talked about last week in a handgun if they hurt. It's not fun, you know. But with a rifle like this, boy, the versatility you have, amazing. So yeah, what was I going to talk about? Oh yeah, it's nice to see people's faces again. Things getting close to normal. There's some folks that will never be back to normal, maybe because they've never been normal in their lives. But it was funny though. I was watching whatever I was watching, but there was a Lowe's, yeah, a Lowe's, you know, the hardware store. Lowe's commercial came on, and I thought I was flashed back like in time 2 or 3 years, and like everybody in this commercial was all masked up. Everybody's shopping, the kids, and it was, you know, all the child abuse, you know, the kids wearing masks and all this, and I was like, wow. And the narrator just there, like, wow, Lowe's made a point of this. You're like, gosh, can't they make a new commercial? Don't they have enough money to make a new commercial? And what my fear is, or was that it wasn't that old. It may have been produced this month. I don't know. But my gosh, get that stuff off the air. You know, really. Woo! Tired of it. Tired of it. I sure hope you all have seen the videos this week. The Richards conversion. I know some videos like that. Some people, well, not most of you probably, but some people, it's just boring. There's no full automatic fire. There's not 30 pumpkins being shot or anything. But I mean, those are just interesting firearms. Those old conversion, you know, revolvers, and you know, the old 45 Colts or whatever. Gosh, so much history there. I hope you saw that, and just fun to shoot, and that was a replica, of course, but just so fun to learn about. And then I enjoy passing that on to people and what I know about it, and firing them and talking about them. So hope you'll see those videos. We've got lots of videos like that on old Colts and different things. But in the K31, you know, the Swiss, that's a great rifle. I don't shoot that thing enough. Almost got it out today. But I've been seeing this 357 and in the safe, moving it to get to something else. And I gotta shoot that. I haven't shot it in forever. And then I wanted to shoot this some more, get you know, a better feel for it, and see how it shoots and how it hits. And yeah, it's got some high sights. Be great for a suppressor. And, feels good. So far, I like it. Can I shoot? Okay, you talked me into it. 10 mil, hard to beat. All right. Well, let's see where to hold on that gong. See if I can hit that turkey. I'm not sure where to hold. I'm not sure where I'm hitting either. Need to shoot it some more. Get a better feel for it. I don't know where that was going. Oh man, I had a big week shooting and all kinds of things going on. The Twin Oaks archery match, spring shoot up at Twin Oaks Archery, bow hunters. So I like to do the 3D, 3D matches occasionally. And a couple of friends and I, we always make the Twin Oaks Spring Classic, or whatever they call it. It tends to rain every year, you know. It even gets rained out for us at times, but it's always like the first weekend in May, and you know, just make it. It's one of the largest in this part of the country, and I live very close to it, so that's nice and convenient. And I love to shoot a longbow, a recurve. Well, it's a hybrid longbow, okay, kind of a hybrid between a longbow and a recurve, I guess. You've seen it in videos. And it's a hummingbird. It's just a really, I just love the bow. It's funny with bows, I have no interest in more bows or different bows. I have a nice recurve made by Hummingbird. I've come close to selling a few times because I prefer the longbow, the hybrid longbow, over it. You'd think I'd love that big recurve. Gosh, it's beautiful. The wood on it and the hybrid longbow. But I think I even put it listed on some site at one time for a little bit. But I think, well, you know, John is as tall as I am. My grandson may end up being tall, you know, and all that. And there's such a nice bow, and it's made just a little bit longer than average. So I'll hang on to them. But that's fun to do if you've never done it. We've done it in a few videos, shooting at the foam deer and foam bear or dinosaurs, whatever they have on the course. That's always fun. Went to the fish fry in Paris, Tennessee, the world's biggest fish fry. That's always fun, catfish fry. And hello to any of you all that I ran into at those events. I tend to run into you all around town and various things like that. So do I have any other non-wisdom advice to young people before I get too carried away here? You know, I will try. Don't let me forget, I'm going to try some of these 38 Special, these old 38 Special rounds. See if how they feed. Okay. Do I have any? Yeah, I got a little advice about your job and your career choices. How's that? These are semi-wad cutters. Interesting. In fact, I don't think I make sure I didn't just use this box. You know, I do sometimes. These could be. Let's see, what are these supposed to be? 138 grain lead. I don't know. Those are factory ammo, I guess. Yeah. And some of these might not be. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. Wow. See, this box is another one I hadn't touched in a decade or two. Here's the ammo that was in it. Round nose lead. Okay. So, but I had loaded some of my own, put them in there, the same load, same weight and all that, same charge. So I've got a few of those. I'll see if I can, just get those out. And those are all 38 Special. Yeah, I'm sure. Okay. Look what else I found in this box. I used to do this a lot. I was bad about that. Another one. Snake round. Okay, make sure I got enough of these semi-wad cutters. Now, no, you tell me, why am I not going to put like these rounds in there? They might work okay. There's not much recoil involved, but you're better off to have a flat-nosed bullet and a lever gun. Okay, so I got a few, 2, 4, 6, or 7 of those. I can shoot those. Okay, let me load those up. All right. I'll bring a revolver out and shoot all that stuff away. I need to get rid of all that stuff anyway. If I've used a box of ammo, it's got different stuff in it. And if there's anything that could possibly be a problem, I would have labeled it. And I can tell by looking at the bullet if something's a little different. I'll tell you, you're choosing your career, think through it carefully. And I guess this could mean older people too. If you're changing careers, we're always changing, right? And I've had several in my life. But really think it through, because even the best of careers and jobs, there's going to be a time you'll get into it and it'll get stale maybe. You'll get a little bit bored with it. You know, there's always those plateaus, things that you have to maybe rethink it. Yeah, do I really want to do this or keep doing this? Or, you know, some things at your job, at your company will go a little bit haywire. You'll get a new manager or different responsibility or something, and you say, I gotta get out of here, whatever. Or it could become really undesirable just because of the way things change, which you kind of want to try to fight through, because lots of that sort of stuff ends up being temporary. You know, I was with several different companies or schools or different things where I sort of out-survived, you know, in almost every case, out-survived the craziness that would come along from time to time. But but anyway, this stuff is going to happen, and you go through spells where you may be trying to pull your hair out. You think it's a horrible place to work, but in 3 months it may be back to normal, or just a lot better. You never know. But not necessarily, you don't know. But think through it carefully, because one thing I see, I've talked about a little bit, I saw it in education, and you see it everywhere, and part of it's because of technology. There's a lot more, I think, micromanagement of whatever you're doing, whatever your job is. It seems like there's more people to micromanage you through technology, just more supervisors or more managers or whatever, which sometimes people need and can be a good thing. But if you're a self-motivated person and you don't need somebody over your shoulder 24 hours a day and everything, some of that can become a little problematic and very, very annoying, and you just might not flourish in that environment. That was some of the things that got to me at times, where some people need it. I never really needed that, and I've always been pretty well self-motivated, you know, the first one to work and all that kind of thing. And I just don't need somebody in my face on everything, or just second guessing every little thing that happens, you know, unless I need it, you know. But I don't know. So be aware of that. Be aware of that. I saw that happening in education, and I could see the writing on the wall. This, you know, I'm not going to be long for this, I don't think. I'm glad I am not 23, just starting out teaching. You know, this was towards the last 8 or 10 years that I taught. I would not go into teaching, as much as I loved it and thoroughly enjoyed teaching and the kids and everything. I could see, I don't think I would do it. You know, I would just choose something else. That's a shame, because I don't know what it is. Part of it is there are so many people who are slackers or incompetent that, you know, if you run a company, you know, or a school or anything else, you almost have to put in all these safeguards and all these systems to treat everybody as a slacker, you know, and, you know, just things to think about. You know. For those of you who think, I try not to. All right, not too often anyway. Let's see how it feeds 38 Special. Hell, look where I'm hitting. Quit. All right. You know, that's good to know. If I didn't know it already. Really, I mean that. I just don't recall. If I tried 38 Special, I probably did in the video we posted, and some of you probably just watched it like 10 minutes ago, and I probably talked about it. Oh, this is great. It feeds 38 Special like a dream, you know. And here I am a few minutes later, not remembering that. Well, at least in your mind. But really, I shoot so many firearms and different things, I just really don't remember. And that's a real bonus if it does, you know, because you can, not that 38 Special is like dirt cheap or anything, and it's hard to find, isn't it? So it is smart to shoot these. And those are old, my gosh. You know what? Those actually, I don't know. One of those was a Winchester case. That's a federal case. I don't know. That doesn't make any sense. Because I'll tell you why it makes no sense. Clear sense. I have never loaded 38 Special. I've never actually hand loaded 38 Special. Don't think I ever have. Ever changed my dice to do that. But Dad did. And I bet you that might be where that box came from. I think he loaded 38 Special, and so that might have been it. That might be where I got the whole box of all of them, the mix smash and everything. It might have been. Because when he passed away, I got, you know, his reloading stuff. Oh, there's another one. So, now, if you're in a pinch, again, no charge, but you don't want to put pointed bullets, you know, in your tube because they're against each other, right? Gone over that in videos. Think about that. And with 38 Special, you don't have a lot of recoil, but you've got them in the loading tube, primer to bullet tip, right? Okay, so any recoil at all is pushing the tip of this bullet against the primer of the other one. Get up closer, you see it? Yeah, and you've got what, 8 or 10 like that, you know, bullet against primer. So I would guess, and some of you might even say that, yeah, I shoot bullets like that all the time, even in 357 Magnum. Well, you have at it. I'm not going to do it. 38 Special, you know, might not matter. I wouldn't do it, but you don't get much recoil. I don't want an explosion inside my magazine tube. There ain't nowhere for it to go except against other rounds. But if you're in a pinch, in a survival situation, what could you do? You could do this. Put 2 of these in. I'll rack one of them into the chamber. And now what do I have? I have just one in the tube, one in the chamber, and so there is no problem, right? Do I need to explain that further to anybody? So I could shoot like this all day. I could just keep some of those round nose bullets or sharp pointed bullets in my pocket, and after I shoot, I could have put another one in like right now and just keep shooting. Right? So that would be an option. So you wouldn't necessarily be totally unarmed. Okay, I'm always teaching you people something, not charging you for it. Anything else you wanted to hear about? What was I talking about? Yeah, but anyway, young people, I'll load this 10mm mag. I just have 2 mags for it, but be careful about what career you go into. It's best if you know yourself, which you probably don't if you're young. You think you do. But as you get older, you kind of learn more about yourself, believe it or not, and what you excel at and what you are good at tolerating, what you're not good at tolerating, how you work best, how you don't work well, kinds of people you work well with and people you don't, or you know, you just do. And so that helps you make smarter decisions, doesn't it? And but you know, you're right out of college, you're out of high school or whatever it is, you know, you don't always know that well, you don't even think about it, and you end up in places that tend to not be perfect for you. And not the end of the world, but it's best if you can avoid a lot of bad choices like that. End up working at jobs that you are going to, you've got a short lifespan there. They're not going to last long, and you know it. Sometimes you have to take jobs like that, just have to for a while. But just keep all that in mind. If you are a manager, as you maybe strive to become a manager, administrator in education, whatever the heck it is, try to know your people and who needs micromanagement, and who doesn't? You know, because you can in a lot of ways you can squelch some creativity that way, and you can squelch production. You really can, because I don't know about you, but if you're working somewhere and people don't seem to trust you, and don't treat you well, yet you are very dedicated, you work hard, you try to exceed expectations. You have your own drivers, and you want to do things really well, and you got people that just don't seem to appreciate that. Then think about the people you may be in that position now. You think, why bother? Why bother? Yeah, I used to take this job seriously, but I'm just going to get by now. You don't want that to happen. You don't want that attitude with people if you can avoid it. All right. Nice. Yeah, man. I wanted another 10 millimeter, and now I have it. I wanted something different, from the Glock, because that's really the only 10 I've owned. And I've thought about several others. I mean, I saw this out. Yeah, I like the M&P firearms, the model, the 2.0s, pretty well. I got a 9, and they feel good, and yeah, why not? 10 millimeter. I shoot a fair amount of 10. Excuse me, I hand load it, and I've got factory rounds, and we do videos with it. And Federal loads it, of course. And so appreciate their help providing ammo for it. So, and I haven't shot any. I'm gonna shoot some factory 357 before I let you go. What else? Anything else you're dying? Other non-wisdom you're dying to know about? Oh, I know one thing that came to mind the other day. It seemed like there for a while here, for last week or two, there have been several mass shootings, quote unquote. Well, but I don't know what you think about when you hear mass shooting. I think of some wacko, randomly taking people out, whether it's in a school or a mall, wherever it is. And that kind of risk that, when somebody actually loses their brain, goes crazy, we could all be at risk anywhere we are. That kind of thing happens. Doesn't happen all that often, of course. You hear how many people there are around, but the percentages. But these mass shootings, everything is a mass shooting now, and I've noticed that often it's a little hoarse. It's some kind of like gang-related thing or something, some fight between people. They've gathered up and they're going to get their enemy as they come out of the theater or whatever, that kind of stuff. That's, well, maybe in terms of numbers of people that were shot, okay. But these gang-related shootings and that kind of thing, that's a different story to me. I mean, I guess you can call it a mass shooting, but anyway, I just don't trust the media, that is. Oh, by the way, somebody I saw a comment, someone asked me, "Are you drinking Perrier water?" Or what was it? You were trying to be an elitist or something? Since when did that mean you're an elitist? What that means is I'm trying to stay off of soft drinks, is what that means. Sparkling water is one of the, just for everybody's edification, if you're trying to get off of soft drinks, soda, sugar water, fake sugar, whatever, which would be an excellent idea, one way to do that, and it has worked for me, it's helped a lot. And I had read that, I've seen that in videos as a tip, and because part of it is just like smoking or anything else. You're used to drinking something that has a little bit of bite to it, and so just a plain bottle of water doesn't satisfy that as much. And so sparkling water is a great choice for that. Whatever it costs, it's not going to cost more than a soft drink, okay? So just something to think about, a little tip if you're trying to get off of things like that. It tastes good. It's got minerals in it, and it's hard to find like a lot of different brands. You get stop at a market or somewhere. There are a couple of others out there I have found, and I drink them. They're just as good, but the Perrier is the one that is like in every market almost, you know. So I'll pick it up, okay, and it works. It works. It really does. Okay, so I guess that makes me an elitist. I'm trying to get off soft drinks and be healthy. All right, we got some factory ammo, 158 grain jacketed soft point, 357 Magnum from Federal. Wow, knocked that 2-liter all the way down the hill. Let's kill the hog with these hotter rounds. Boom. Kill the gong with these hotter rounds. Maybe that turkey over there. Boy, yeah, got another one. Yeah. Move the red plate. There we go. I was too high one shot, I think, and too low on the next one. Had him bracketed, as they say. Nice gun, man. Do I have to tell you? Does it get a lot better than a really nice lever gun? You know, a JM, an older Marlin, and a pistol caliber 357 Magnum. And you saw it feeds 38 Special, and it feeds 357 Magnum. And I've got the Skinner sights on, the peep sights I like, or ghost string. That is a rig. That is a nice rig, just like all these are, especially the Cowboy Limited. Man, that and 357, my 45 Colt, you just feel like you can't miss with them. There's something about it. The sights help, but they just are great. Not a lot of recoil because they're heavy enough, and it's a handgun round. So how much can they kick? So all right. So I might shoot that again. Y'all mind if I do? I don't have anything else probably to tell you. So you're lucky. Did I? Don't even forget anything. But I hope everything's going well for you all. And wherever you live in this country, the weather's getting better, I guess, right? Maybe unless you live out in the desert in the west, it's just getting hotter for you, right? But you're hot. You're used to that. It's hot all the time, most of the time out there. So you got weather. Hope you can get out and find some ammo and get some shooting in. You know, some calibers are still harder to find, right? Some chamberings, but hopefully you can find enough to take a few shots and take it from there. Make sure you're staying in touch with your representatives, you're voting, you know, and hopefully you're supporting the gun rights groups, you know. I mean, we've all been disappointed in the NRA, but again, I don't know, they may be doing some great work now. I don't know. I know they are working. I don't know how much they're getting accomplished. But you know, join them all. Support all of them that you think are doing any good at all. I'm a life member of every gun rights organization you can name. I don't know how much good it does, but you know, you just do what you can. Do what you can, and go from there. Something else I was going to, well, you know, don't forget the NRA meeting. Speaking of the NRA in Houston, I hope that you all will be there. We have, I need to put that in the description too, soon. Update the descriptions on all the videos, because when I update it, it updates on every single video. The meet and greets that we have scheduled, just 2. And that's probably the ones we'll do. I don't think there's another one coming up, so I will, I'll try to do that. So, and I'll make sure I start mentioning that every week. I did, maybe I'll put it, maybe I'll pin it or something even in this one if I don't have it there in the descriptions yet. So, but I think I told y'all last week when it was. One of them is Friday afternoon, and one is Saturday afternoon. Friday afternoon, I think, is SDI. Sonoran. No, it's Silencer Central, I think, Friday afternoon. And then on Saturday afternoon is SDI, the Sonoran Desert Institute. And I can actually give you the times probably again, because we'd like to see you there. I'm on for my calendar. Okay, so the NRA big meeting is that Friday is May the 27th, and we will be at the Silencer Central booth from 2 to 3, and SDI booth on the 28th from 3 to 4. To watch those times, I don't know about your Google Calendar, but it wants to put in different times than I put in, or make up times. It's crazy. So let's shoot this thing. All right, let's shoot the target. Sweet, sweet. And again, if you remember the Marlin video we posted recently with the SBL, the stainless gun, the Ruger Marlin, I mentioned in there about how the big loop doesn't impress me. You know, it just doesn't do anything for me at all, because I don't put my hand through there. I do it like this. I grab the whole thing and I just put my fingers on it. So that's the way I do it. I always have. I think most people that, I don't know, maybe not. Some of the fastest cowboy action shooters, I don't know, probably do it both ways. I've not really noticed, but I think faster like that. If I'm trying to shoot fast, of course you're changing point of aim, so it doesn't necessarily have to be lightning fast, but some people probably do put it in there like that. I just don't like it. So anyway, the big loops are just problematic for me. And really, I've heard a lot of people say that in general. Now again, it's nice for hunters. You got big gloves or whatever, maybe. But generally speaking, I think people prefer, this type of lever. So anyway, I better let you go. Okay, you act too long, and I'm getting to run. I'm saying even less that makes any sense, so I will let you go. I just get that feeling in my mind. I've done that in regular videos before, where there's something I'm forgetting and I go too long thinking it'll come to me. But I really appreciate your all support and coming out on Sundays like this, okay, just to hang out with me while I shoot some favorite guns. And boy, is this a favorite. A lever gun is always a favorite, and then 357 Magnum has been a favorite for a long time. That was the first double action revolver I ever owned. 1972 or 3. Model 19, 357 Magnum. Shot the fire out of that thing, and just loved it. And loaded for it. It was the first cartridge I ever hand loaded. And boy, is it a versatile round. This really is. So even if you don't hand load, normal times there's all kinds of ammo available in different loadings and bullet types and power factors and all that. So anyway, good to have you along, and I'll hopefully talk to you next Sunday. Okay, life is good.